Knopf Clipper, hi friends, Darth Momo here. We're going to talk about Maul Shadow Lord Season 1, Episodes 7 and 8. It is The Call to Oblivion and The Creeping Fear. So I enjoyed these ones. The first thing right off the bat is this batch corrected something that I felt was an issue with the last two that I didn't mention in my review. I forgot to mention that last week. Was that I felt like the last couple episodes were shifting the focus away from Maul and more onto Devin. And this one I felt balanced that a lot better. I still feel like there's a lot more attention on the other characters, considering this is a show about Maul. I feel like we're focusing more on the other characters than him, but we definitely had a lot of stuff to do with Maul in these episodes, especially the eighth episode, the second of the two. So this one, the Empire's amping up the hunt for Maul. He's got Devin with him. Devin tries to flee, right? She fights with him a bit, but then eventually she gets out of there, and Maul starts fighting the Inquisitors. The bird dude from Tales of the Jedi shows up, along with Marek, and the fight was actually fairly enjoyable. I don't know, it was cool and fun to watch, and I thought it was really well animated, really well choreographed. Maul does the same thing that what's his name? Well, they do it in the Phantom Menace. They're jumping around all the different bridges and all that. So Maul jumps off a bridge to lead the Inquisitors away, and he damages his knee again, which I don't know if it was ever fully fixed or not. So he's injured, right? And he's fighting these Inquisitors, and the fact that now there's two of them and he's injured, it kind of gets they kind of get the better of him. And they almost kill him. Then one of the other Night Brothers comes in to quickly save Maul, and in turn dies. Maul's clearly distraught from that, and then Maul, at first I thought he was actually genuinely trying to surrender. I wasn't sure what was going on, and I'm still kind of up in the air of whether that was all really a play, or if there was a true moment of desperation there, like, you got me, you know? And then he's got his hands up, and then he uses the Force to bring rocks down and trying to crush the Inquisitors while he quickly escapes. And then he's kind of going, I don't know where he's at, he's lost in some sort of sewer tunnels, I'm guessing. And he's kind of losing it. I mean, we kind of forget how much this guy's been through and how deeply distraught his mental state was, especially after when Savage first found him, those years on Lotho Minor. We see kind of flashbacks of like Sidious taking Maul from Savage. I don't know if that's quite how that happened or not. They looked older than like the Son of Dathomir comic made it seem like. I'm not sure. It very well could also be that's just how Maul's remembering it, and that's not exactly how it's going on. Or maybe that is what happened. I don't know. So he sees that happening. He sees some training flashbacks with Sidious. And he kind of sees like a moment of himself where he looks at like the reflection of his younger self, and he gets mad. He's like, I hate you. And then he sees Sidious kill Savage, and he revisits like flashbacks of that, and then like is just him with the spider legs when he's going mad when Savage first finds him, and he resolves, he's like, no, I'm not gonna let Sidious do this to anyone else. And I think it's really interesting because like that's Maul's persona after the Phantom Menace, right? Is there's so much where like, I mean, of course initially he's just straight up mad at Kenobi, right? But then afterwards, after he kind of like starts to gain his footing a bit beyond that, he's got these goals of taking down Palpatine. It's rooted in revenge, right? That he feels like he's been wronged by Palpatine. He has a line in the episode where he says, like, Sidious casting him aside was devastating. But it's obviously never for the right reason. And I think it's interesting that as time goes on, we see him get closer and closer to away from the Sith mindset, right? At first in Clone Wars, it's all just pure, like, revenge and hatred, right? And then at the end, there's a bit of like a team up with Ahsoka. Obviously, the intentions are purely like, Ahsoka calls him out. He wants to kill Sidious so he can replace him, right? And then with this one, we start to see like, no, like Sidious is bad. Like, I will not let him do what he did to me. Like, it's awful, and I won't let him do that to anybody else because it's horrible. And then once we get to like Rebels, we see him really like shift into like, the Sith took everything from me. Like, he even starts to team up with the Jedi a bit, right? Fighting the Inquisitors. But it's not until that final moment with Obi-Wan where I think it kind of starts to click. But even then, it never truly clicks, right? Because his final thought is, the Chosen One will avenge us. So it's very interesting how we're playing into that, almost building towards that final moment for him. And then what else? So there's the side plot with the the other characters. They got a break, or the son gets captured. The police captain breaks him out. Two Boots, the droid, kind of breaks free of his what do we want to say, programming or whatever, and he realizes like the Empire really wasn't good to call in, and he breaks the son out, and then they all try to escape. They're lured into a trap right now, and then the episode ends with them realizing it's a trap, and they just barely escape the Inquisitors. So I'm guessing that's where the next couple episodes will pick up. It's interesting, though, that the Daki, the older Jedi, was about ready to just leave. He's like, we've caused enough damage, so let's just head out before we make it worse for them. And the Twi'lek's like, no, we got to help them. So I'm sure that'll obviously play into her eventually siding with Maul, however that happens. So next week's the finale. That doesn't feel real. This show went by really quick. I mean, of course, I hate being left in the dark and having cliffhangers. I love just having the whole story, but at the same time, like, this went by really quick. I'm a little bummed. I wonder what was behind the decision that made it 10 episodes only. But yeah, I'm expecting an explosive finale. It ends with Crimson Dawn reaching out to the little midget dude that's with Maul. The Alina. I don't remember his name. And he's like, hey, Crimson Dawn wants an audience, Dryden Voss. So I'm expecting next couple episodes we'll see Dryden Voss come into play. If I had to guess, the Jedi Master Daki's probably going to die. It sounds like Vader probably will end up showing up for a fight with Maul. We'll see how that pans out. I mean, obviously, I expect Maul to lose that fight, but it's a matter of how they play that. We'll see. And then I'm sure, you know what? I don't want to say Devin commits to Maul's apprentice, but I'm going to guess Daki dies, and then they have to flee, right? Vader, the Empire closing in and all that. And I'm going to guess that Talon goes with Maul, but not necessarily outright to team up or become his apprentice or anything. I'm going to guess that's going to continue out in Season 2. As for the captain, I almost want to say part of me might think he might go with Maul, but I don't know. We'll see. I could see him just kind of, going off and doing his own thing. We'll see. Otherwise, thank you guys for, we'll be back next week. I'll give these ones an 8 out of 10 as well. We'll see you guys next week for the finale, and May the 4th. So, thank you guys for joining in. Darth Momo out, and may the Force be with you. Always. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, comment down below and hit that like button. Oh, and check out some of my other videos. I'm sure you'll find them in the light.